Welcome to Digital to Foot Traffic. I am Kevin Shi.
And I am Scott Jensen. We are digital marketers with massive experience in running brick and mortar stores.
Join us each episode as we explore the latest digital marketing trends and uncover strategies from the best in the industry. Hello, welcome to another episode of Digital to Foot Traffic. I'm your host, Kevin Shi.
Hey, Kevin, this is Scott. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. Sorry we missed you on the last episode. I was skiing with my group of friends, and one of them happens to own a digital agency that I've known for a long time. So we were just winging it with the episode with Andy. So yeah, next time I'll introduce you to him. He's a good guy. Yeah, but it was fun.
Sounds good. I was skiing as well, but was not recording any podcasts at the time. Maybe next time we will.
Yeah, he was talking about a lot of interesting things about different agencies in Hong Kong, but some of them were a bit offensive, so he didn't want to repeat it in the podcast, which is understandable. but he taught a lot of tips about finding the right agencies in Hong Kong. Anyways, our episode today is about AdWords. I mean Google. Particularly AdWords search and all that. To wrap up 2017, Happy New Year, by the way, there's a lot of updates and all that. And I'm using an article from WordStream. I'll put this in the footer about around 27 different updates of AdWords. And Scott, I know you're very expert in Google and AdWords. Maybe we can go through a few of them and how, as a retailer and as a customer, can use these changes. I found a few already that's very applicable for me already. Okay, Scott?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yep.
Which one do you want to start with?
Okay. Are you looking at that article right now?
I am.
Okay. Number one is the new AdWords Experience. That's pretty general. Loads faster. What do you think of the new, I guess you guys don't use the AdWords thing. I guess you guys would use the Google Analytics paid version, premium or something like that?
We use a combination of all three. Between that, the AdWords Analytics, and then if we're using a tool like DoubleClick or Marin or Kenchu, we'll use that tool as well.
Okay.
Each of them, I would say they're reporting on 75-80% of the same things, but then they all have their nuances or variances there.
Okay.
And so we'll use them all. So yeah, the new interface, they update every couple of years, and it takes everyone a little bit of time to get used to, but I like it and use it. And I think it's intuitive. You can tell that I think we're going to see the theme through all 27 of these is Google really flexing their muscle. I think for a long time we've heard that, we heard this is the year of mobile. This is the year of mobile. Remember that back 5, 6, 7 years ago, everybody kept saying that. And then kind of all of a sudden it was. Yeah. Well, I think what you're seeing now is this is the year of AI or artificial intelligence. And a lot of these things of the 27, 20 plus of them are all being touched by AI. And this new interface is kind of the introduction of that and being able to see that. So we're going to talk about attribution. We're going to talk about audiences. We're going to talk about a bunch of these things that are all being driven by Google's AI platforms. And so that's, I think, really what this new interface is allowing them to demonstrate. The attribution is really cool. And cool, I don't mean to give that a total endorsement. It's just really interesting. And there's some issues with it. I think it's still what we can talk about, but it's really good. But that's the first one. Okay,
I got a side question from you for here. AI is pretty popular here in Hong Kong, and many marketers in Hong Kong is promoting AI. But when we deep down into what they're promoting AI, I would say a lot of them, maybe 67% of them, would be promoting the chatbot function of the Facebook, right? And how to get more customer on Facebook. And that's their recognition of what's applicable right now in AI in the lowest sense. How is Google different from a regular chatbot, you say? And what kind of example will we be seeing in Google AdWords in the future regarding AI?
So let me give you one example. It's a little bit different from the chatbot, but it's a change that they've had. So for a long time, we've really struggled to test ads in AdWords. All right. So Google has even if you put in 2 ads, and we've come up with some tricks, and we can talk about one in just a second. I'll give you an example. So for a long time, what we used to do to test different ads, so you'd say you had the same keyword, but you wanted to test 2 different ads. What you would do is you would pause your existing ad, and then you would create a duplicate of that ad plus a new ad, and you would launch those two 50-50, and you would run them and see which one to do. Well, the Google platform was smart enough to figure out that you had a duplicate of your original ad, and it would start to it would start to drive more traffic to that ad regardless. And the alternate ad rarely, if ever, won. All right.
Yep.
And that's because Google, remember, is getting paid off of clicks. And so they know what the known click value is of that, and they rank it higher. Okay. Well, they know that's an issue, and they've tried to address it. And I think they've gotten a step closer. They're not quite perfect yet. But Matt Lawson, who's the head of Google search marketing, wrote an article about this not too long ago. What they've done is they've come up with an AI bot for ads. So you can now, they're recommending a minimum of 3 ads. Okay. And then the AI tool will learn which ads perform better with which customers. Now, they don't give you insight into the customers, the same insight that they have on the back end, because they have a whole bunch more data than they expose to us. But they kind of say, hey, trust us, this ad works better with customer group A, and then this ad works better with customer group B. So they're using AI to go out and find those customer groups and identify that. So that's a new kind of release that we've seen here in the past probably 4 months. As a recap of 2017 and using AI for that. And they've got a whole bunch of others. In fact, we'll talk more about one in particular here in a minute.
Okay. Number 2 on the list, again, we're going to put this on the footer. If anybody's just following right now, it's called WordStream.com, and the title of this article is called Year in AdWords, 27 Biggest Stories of 2017. We're reviewing this one by one. So number 2 is flagging value. Organic ranking puts a premium on PPC. Basically, what this article says that the value, if I'm right, the value for PPC has the SEO has decreased in the sense that people are more clicking on PPC. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So I think what it's saying is that if you have the number 1 ranking in SEO,
you don't need PPC.
And you put a PPC ad up, then you're going to see an increase in your click-through rate on your PPC and on your SEO, which makes sense because and we've seen these, this isn't anything new. We've seen this for years where it's adding some legitimacy to what you're doing. So it makes sense.
What about the 37% decrease? Is that like for SEOs?
I think what you're seeing is that people are trusting paid search more than they did before. I think when you used to run these surveys, people would say, I don't ever click on the paid search ads. When in reality, they did. Okay. And now we're starting to see that people are admitting to the same thing. Okay.
Number 3, Google are able to spend twice the average of your daily budget limit. So is that scary? I mean, if I want to spend $500, they spend $1,000. Is that something to be alarmed about, or is that going to flatten out over time?
I would be aware of it and cautious of it, because Google obviously is
pushing.
They
to spend
have
more.
their own intentions, But this is something else being driven by their AI initiative, where the tool saying, "Hey, you've set a budget for $30,000 for the month. We think that on this particular day that we can go out and capture a lot more of your goal, whatever that goal is." And one of the things they introduced was conversion metrics this year, where they didn't have those before. It was all clicks or audience measurements. Now they have conversion measurements. They're saying, hey, this Sunday we know that we can go out and get a lot more. We're going to spend up to twice your budget, and then we'll make it up the rest of the month as you come in. So that's what this is, but it's driven by AI.
So basically, it's like the old days when I was talking to you and we sense that, every Monday the conversion is higher. So automatically every Monday I would set my budget limit higher just for Monday. Now AI would do that for me because of the variance increase, right?
Yep. That's exactly what that in theory is supposed to do. And now I would watch it closely and test it out. But that's exactly right. And
again, for those retailers and operators there, I guess as an owner, you have to be careful that the conversion actually matches your physical foot traffic or money in the bank. If your conversion is not set right properly, then conversion can go up, price can go up, and then your actual sales can be flat. I cannot emphasize that more importantly because I said in many podcasts that's happened to me a few times already. It's not easy, actually.
Yeah, you are exactly right. And one of the things that we've talked about and one of the things I think we'll do is we'll bring on a conversion expert onto this podcast here, somebody who can talk a little bit about maybe the 5 to 10 things you should look for when you're tagging your site for conversions.
Wow,
so we should do that here shortly.
Okay. All right. That's very important. Number 4 is exactly what you talked about. Ad variation allows fast, efficient A/B testing. So you find there's a headline called "Find and Replace," update text, or swap headline. Pretty fast in making a new campaign, I guess. Anything you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about before. It's almost like I've read this article before.
Did you read this article? Yeah.
But that's exactly what this is. It's going out and expanding the ads. And there's a lot here, more than we can cover in this podcast, but a suggestion, people go out and look at this because there's some great things here.
So basically, if I had a guy who does the A/B testing, like part of his job is Google AdWords, and he does A/B testing for me on a monthly basis. Is it fair for me to assume that he can do 50% or 30% more workload now because it's easier to test?
Oh, that's always you trying to get more out of the thing. I would. There's this. I think there's two different things. More is either scale or efficiency, right?
Yeah.
This is going to increase scale. Yes.
Okay.
I don't yet know if I think it's going to increase efficiency.
Okay.
And so you may have a broader reach, but it may not be as deep.
Okay. That's good enough. All right. Exactish match word keyword. So this is new. So it's like, it's not exact word. So it's, if it's similarly, then they'll alter the exact word and broaden the scope. Do you know anything about this one?
Yeah. So this is, again, the theme of this, and we're going to say it probably of the 27 times, we're going to say it 20 plus times, is AI again. And this is where Google is saying the machine is smarter than humans in being able to understand what somebody is searching for.
Oh, okay.
And I think this is an opportunity to really expand people's keywords, again, get some more breadth on their keyword list by going exact-ish.
Okay.
And that's what's driving this again.
Okay. Can their search be completely irrelevant and then they promote their intent? Is Google up to that already? So
it shouldn't work that way. What it should work is the machine understanding the sequence of things that you search for. So let's say you are looking for, well, there's this famous article back in the day about Target, right? And we've talked about this one quite a bit, where Target figured out that if you buy a certain sequence of products in a row, that purchaser is pregnant, right? And they found that 16-year-old girl, or however old she was in her teens, still living at home, and she had purchased 2 or 3 of these products in a row, a certain type of lotion, she'd purchased a certain type of soap, whatever it was. And they started sending her coupons for pregnancy stuff. Well, her dad saw it, comes into the store and says, "Why are you sending my daughter this?" And the manager goes, "I don't know." And then it turns out that when he goes home, the daughter admits to being pregnant, and Target knew before she did. That's what this is saying, is Google saying, hey, we know the sequence of events when somebody starts searching for, say, a house cleaner plus boxes plus something else that they're going to move. And so they're going to start serving up real estate ads. Okay. So, okay, this is in search. So this may not be what they're searching for, but this is like relevant intent ad. So where will we, but enhanced quite a bit is what they're trying to do. Okay. So where would that pop up in the search results? Yes. Yep. Okay. Understand. Custom intent audience. This is the, what I understand is this is the product. Just say you're your e-commerce store and you have various products. You can actually based on what you have and promote things within the website instead of just the website in general. Is that what it is? Yeah. So you're right on, and this is the blurring of the lines between Facebook and Google. And I think they've been kind of two distinct camps up to this point. Where Facebook has had some very specific audiences, and we do a follow-up podcast on their year in review of Facebook advertising, I think next or after that. But this is those two kind of worlds coming together when you start looking at, hey, finding people who want to buy your specific products that you offer based on campaigns, websites, YouTube channel, and carrying them across multiple of those channels together and on the display network. Okay. As a retailer, this is important because if you carry many items and sometimes they're very far flung, like not really related to each other, custom intent audience is very useful in bringing down the CPA and driving conversions, right? Yeah, and for our audience, people who have stores where maybe you have a variety of different products, this is a great piece for that, and it opens up some more opportunity to really target those people. Absolutely. Okay, so what would you do? You would set like just say the product there, and then how would you know like what kind of words they'll be looking for to drive for that specific product? Do you set up? It's more than just what somebody's looking for, but how. So that I would say that this isn't so much about how it's people look for, say if you're searching for a new car.
Okay.
All right. You may go to the brand's website. Say you're looking for a new Mercedes.
Okay.
You may go to the Mercedes.uk or .com.uk website, right?
Yeah.
And then, or their international site.
Yeah.
But then you're going to go to a car review site like Edmunds.com, and then you may go to YouTube and look at some of the videos there. So what this is allowing an advertiser, in this case Mercedes, to do is carry that ad message across multiple different platforms. So it's not just and in an audience that's specified. So you're saying, hey, I'm going to go for the AMG Mercedes. So the kind of the higher end one, I want to target single males over 50 that have had hair implants recently, right? And I want to make sure that I am targeting their ads to them across multiple different platforms. So I'm going to do the Google Display Network, YouTube, Google, search, a bunch of different things. This is allowing it's kind of merging those two things together into one platform.
Okay, so it's not just AdWords, it's YouTube, it's display as well, right?
Yep, that's what this is. So it's creating custom intent audiences across multiple platforms.
Okay, I understand. So based on what they've searched before, what they're interested in, and then you follow them, like the consumer journey, follow on a specific path with the same message, right?
Right on.
Cool. Yep. Okay, move on to the next one. Promotion extension, simplifying sharing hot deals. So this is like if you have any promotions and all that, you can have an extension tag on it, extension site link extension there, and then that would be on the sales. Is that real time? Is that like an API that you can change?
Yeah, so I think there's two different versions. There is a real time. There's also the upload piece, but it's connected in what they're doing. But they're dynamic, so it can be dynamic based on what you're offering, and it can add things and subtract things in real time dynamically based on the feed that you have, which is pretty interesting.
So you have an Excel and you have a formula, and then based on the situation changes, or what kind of API do you plug in with that?
Yeah, so it would be an API versus an Excel, or if you have a content feed that you're sending through for your ads. If you have, for example, if you're selling multiple products and you have that content feed that's up, or that ad feed that's up, then it would do it that way. And it would, again, it's dynamic in that it's adding and subtracting the extensions as your products warrant them.
Okay. I have a question for you. So this is new because, can't you put this in before?
You could. What they've done is they've simplified it. So before it was a little bit complex and it took quite a bit of, and not quite a bit, but it took some development work to get up. Now they've simplified so more people can access it and or have access to it. Okay.
This is a storage question I have to ask you. I was talking to yesterday, my programmer, and I remembered that you can use the API from SiteLink, which is a storage management software, and based on per location, the occupancy of each type of sizes, you can bid higher or bid lower on the ranking based on availability. That has been possible for a few years already. And what would be a good way to do it?
So you're exactly right. So storage is a good one for this. So if you get up, I'm not advocating this because you and I have had this conversation, but let's say that your occupancy rate gets up into the 91, 92% range, and you decide, hey, my churn is 8%, and I get 8% of those customers organically, whether that be just walk-in traffic or organic rate. I want to pull back on my paid search. In that case, then you could put a threshold in there that says, hey, when I reach a certain occupancy number, just an 80% number or 90% number, I want to back my paid search off automatically. But when that number goes down,
I want to increase
then I want to automatically increase it. So it lets you automate more of that function. You can think of a bunch of other businesses like that as well. So say if you were a car dealership and you started having your inventory started getting too big, you might be willing to spend more on paid search to drive more people down to look at your cars.
And this is particularly useful for operators, retailers with over 20 sites or 30 sites, because if you have 5 or 10 sites, you can probably do it manually. But once you get 30 sites, 40 sites, and you have a formula that automatically do this, you cut a lot of wastage.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. So yes and no. We're starting to see even individual, like we do quite a bit of work with, say, dentists, for example.
Okay.
And we're seeing that if they're we're looking out at their calendaring 2 or 3 months in advance, or even a month in advance.
Okay.
And we're setting it up so that if their calendar is less than, say, 70% full, then we'll spend more on paid search to fill them up a little bit.
But this is automatic, right? So this is it's not like they have to call your local pay search guy to up and down,
Yeah, so
right?
we're managing the accounts for these guys, and but there's a single dentist, and we're setting these up to do one so that we can concentrate on other things as we go along.
Okay, going back to storage. Sorry, because I'm quite interested in this. I understand that like Extra Space or even my sites, right? There's a function where I can say if this location A is full, which is above 93% occupancy rate, I'll cut back on my ad budget. I understand that can be done per location wise. Can you further grain it down to size? But because as you recall, people who rent a big room will not rent a small room. People who rent a small room most likely will not rent a big room. Can I grain it down to, is there a way I can capture the data for a customer who are looking for a big room in this area? I know in this area with like location extension or like a maybe mini storage plus a location word, but how can I capture, is there any way to get hints that this guy's looking for a big room?
Oh, I love this question. And
third-party data.
That's one. Third-party data is one. But I think there's some things even within Google. So what we found in the States is, and there's several things that lay into this, and we can talk about it for just a second, was we found that older people, and you can by ad be able to target older versus younger. You can target 65 plus. First of all, we found that they had more stuff, so they were typically looking for larger unit sizes and to stay longer. In addition, because we would set up our ad campaigns, and we do this now for people by age and by gender, that we could also change the ad text in that ad and test it. So for older customers, we would talk about storing their valuables or their treasures, right? And they would stay, and we could turn these, and this would now allow us to turn these on and off based on the occupancy of our larger units versus the smaller units were typically taken by younger customers, and we would talk about storing their stuff or their things, right?
Wow.
Because they had, and then we could turn those ads on or off
automatically.
As well. Yep.
Automatically.
Exactly.
And the treasure and stuff thing has been tested, right? It's not a hunch, right?
Yeah, not a hunch. No.
Okay.
And then we leave that into the landing page. So when they land on the landing page, then we continue to talk about their treasures and their valuables versus their stuff.
And you assume the sizes. There's a strong enough correlation with the size mix and their age group, I guess, right?
Yeah. So it's not that we would not show them. It's that we would show a preference for a larger size versus a smaller size. So we would still list all the sizes, but we start to list larger sizes at the top and smaller sizes at the bottom and invert that for young. Yes. So there's a good example of that there's a hotel chain that was doing this based on device type. So they were saying, hey, Mac users, they typically want our nicer rooms. And so we're going to show the nicer rooms, which are more expensive rooms, at the top of our search results. And on a PC, we're going to show they typically convert better on less expensive rooms. So we're going to show those. I think a lot of people bent that scenario out of shape saying, oh, if you're on a PC, you're getting charged more, which wasn't the case. They just found they were willing to spend more for a hotel room. So they showed them more what they wanted.
So basically, if I was running a self-storage in the US and I have a lot of big room in this area, I would automatically raise up my bid for this area, and my tagline or my ad campaign will be tailored for more older people kind of version, right? That would be a good way to generate more older people crowd. Yeah. Cool. This is very interesting. Okay, number 8, a function enable bespoke copy. Now, I'm not so sure what this means. Like extension ability to add copy better service, allow you to tailor your copy based on your on device. Oh, so that means it'll like if it overruns the device and then it'll move to the next line or something like that.
Yeah. So what this is kind of cool, and this is one of the core things that have come out in a while. It allows you to change parts of your ad based on the device type that somebody's done. Now, we've been able to accomplish this by some of the ad campaigns because we build campaigns that are for mobile and for desktop and for tablet. But this is kind of enabling somebody who doesn't have their campaign structure set up that way to create some specific ads for mobile devices. So the example that they give in this case is they put a little snippet into the code of the ad saying mobile orders get free shipping, and that would only show up for somebody doing a mobile search versus a desktop.
Oh, okay.
What's happening? But so it's a little snippet you can put into the code. You might want to do that. Say if you're promoting an app for your phone that was available on desktop and on your phone, but you really want to promote the phone, then you could say, hey, a 20% discount if you download this now on your phone, because they know for some reason those phone customers are better. Right.
Oh, okay. So you would do this for like, but is there a difference between like if they confirm on phone or confirm on desktop? Like maybe the lifetime value is different?
Yeah. If you for some reason, if you knew that people who download, if you were doing an ad to download your app and you knew that they were more sticky for some reason, if they download your app, say you're a local movie theater or something, and you want them to subscribe to your movie theater, your movie passes, then you could do that. That's what that's for. That's
pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Okay. Impact of expanded text ad. So expanded text concern have higher CTR than standard text ad. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer. I think that everybody knows that when you increase the real estate on an ad, that it's going to get more clicks.
Okay. Number 10, major changes in ad rotation setting. This leads me to believe a splitter test only changes. So basically, this one means that there's a change in the rotation, and then it's more rotating evenly or optimized to the better one. Which one is it?
Yeah. So it's what they're doing is they're trying to allow for more optimization in this. Where before your ads you could only have them rotate evenly. Now it's saying, hey, we can go out and learn what's the best rotation for your ads or how they apply best there as well.
Is this automatic, or do you have to like click on an AI function?
I think you have to click, and I have to double check into this, but I believe it's in a setting and it's defaulted to optimize your ad rotation. You can get out of that if you want to, but I think the new default is, at least my understanding of that is, the new default is an optimized ad rotation. You could go back and reset it to do an even rotation, but the default is to optimize it.
Okay, cool. Number 11. Now this is the thing that hit on exactly on the head of the nail for me. Life event targeting, because I'm in self-storage and it's all about life events, I guess, right? So they have it already. They just don't have the 4Ds yet. I think they will soon, right? So this, all is a no-brainer for all self-storage marketers, right? There's
a lot of these. I mean, there's a ton of these that go in here, and what they're doing is they are taking individuals' search history. So going back to what we talked about earlier about the target pieces, but there are certain things that people start to search for during life-changing events. So if they're going off to college, then people start searching for new sheets, and they start searching for how to get along with a college roommate and how to adapt. And they know that's and they do this on Google, they do it on YouTube, they do it on other social media platforms, and Google is creating that what's going on in your life experience right now, and then allowing advertisers to market to you specifically on that life-changing thing right now. So whether it's college, whether it's marriage, whether it's moving, whether it's, and even in that going to move versus recently moved, there's a whole bunch of in there. This is really exciting. You're right. And it's based on your search history. Google's now putting certain classifications on you as an individual.
And you see this in search result or display or YouTube?
All of the above.
Okay. So these are not relevant search results. These are like slap-on ads that they have on the side or something like that?
Yeah. So as an advertiser, you can say, hey, I want to target people that are in the moving category and going to move soon. Okay. Right. And then I want to advertise on Google, and Google's allowing you to go across the Google Display Network, on Google Search, and on YouTube.
And how accurate is this? Pretty accurate, right?
It's pretty accurate. Yeah.
Okay. So that's great. That saved a lot of work for a lot of people.
Yes, it does. Yeah. That not only saves some work, but adds some new functionality that hasn't existed before. Now, Google's known about this, and I was at a meeting with Google probably 7 years ago in Chicago, and they rolled this out when I was doing self-storage, where they said, hey, we know the sequence of events, but they had 12 of us in the room, and they said, and they sat us down, they had nameplates for each one of us, and they knew the sequence of events that people searched for when they were going to use our product when they were moving. And they said, hey, first of all, somebody looks for product A. Self-storage was third from the end. Right before us was a carpet cleaner company. And then they moved on to, I think, a home warranty right after us. So they knew where they were, and they say, well, and they didn't have the ability at the time, but they said, hey, you should look to the person to the left and right of you and work out a deal where you pass customers back and forth. This is the expansion of that. And now they're saying, hey, we'll just facilitate the advertising for you.
I just got a curious question. Just say in the self-storage industry, for example, how many people are starting to use this in their ad campaign now, do you think? I'm pretty sure all the REITs are doing it, but in general, across the board, all the mom and pops and all that.
I would not say, I think the adoption of this is going to take a little bit longer than that. I wouldn't say that all the REITs are doing it even now. It's still fairly new, and there's some complexity and some nuance to this. I think a lot of them are probably starting to test it, but I think that there's still a ways to go on this. It's not done yet, but it's starting to add things.
Cool. Okay. New and improved quality score. So the quality score, they changed the algorithm for the quality score. It's not only the bounce rate and all that. It's like how long you stay and the content, the search content type. Do you know their new?
So it's expanded this out some and giving you some more insight as to what they're using into quality score. So a big one that's come on recently that we've known about, but we haven't been able to see is time on site. So we know somebody clicks on your ad, how long do they spend on site? Now they're starting to show you that, and as well as the history and how that's coming through. That's an interesting one.
So the longer time it is better, right?
Yep.
So I've been hearing the feeling that we should make our contents more and more and more on the website, because that would make people read more or video more. And that would be very good for quality score as well as SEO. What do you think of that? Because I remember
I don't know if it's just making more content. Rather, I think it's making it more engaging.
Okay.
So it's not just loads and loads of content. It's more, can you make it more engaging to keep people there? So the use of more video, more charts, more graphics, keep people there longer. Now, you are benchmarked against your peers. So they'll take your site, in your case, self-storage, and they'll match you against other similar self-storage people and see, hey, do you rank or do you keep, is your time on site for customers longer or shorter than those? And that will impact your quality score.
And can you know the time on site for your peers? Is there a tool that you can find out?
No, you can't see that right now, no.
Okay.
And I doubt Google's going to let you.
We are doing the soft and hard testing right now. So the testing, the real ones, the A/B testing, the quantitative, and yet we're also testing on customers. Where we have about 3 customers per month coming in. We videotape them using mobile phone to look for storage room in our sites. So maybe we can do that and ask them to go to our competition to check it out.
That would be an idea. I can tell you that there are some people, I wouldn't recommend this, but I know some people that are trying to game this system a little bit by opening up a window underneath your browser when you come to their website. And even when you navigate away, that browser stays open to try to extend your time on site with Google.
How would have a window extend the time on site?
Because Google's looking at your time on site, and what you're basically doing is opening up a new window with the same location.
So in case you forgot,
I think that's going to get snuffed out by Google pretty quickly, and I wouldn't recommend it. But I know some people that are messing around with that
idea. That's a hardcore SEO, man. Hardcore SEO.
There are always people trying to game the system.
That reminds me of Bitcoin.
Which, that's another conversation you and I should have with our listeners over a pint someplace.
Customer match expanded. Can you expand on this one?
This is really cool. So it used to be that you could do customer match, which was advertising to your customers by uploading a customer's email address. Only. So, and be good. Now they've expanded it to include not only email address, but if you have their phone number, first name, last name, country, zip code, you can upload all of that and Google will match that for you as well. So this is a big expansion of this program and really interesting.
So you don't have to have their phone number. You can just have their first name, last name, and country, and that's it.
And Google will try to match it for you, yes.
Okay. So
now the more information, the more exact, and they're only going to match off things that they have a certain confidence level in. So the more data you have, but if you don't have their email address, say for some reason you just have their phone number and their name, first name, last name, and zip code. Say they did a phone order for some reason, you didn't get an email address, then you could match off of that now too.
Okay. And this is you upload that and you do that for remarketing or just Gmail ads and all that?
It's for remarketing and Gmail ads both, but not for search ads.
Okay. Wow, this is great.
Yeah, it is really good.
I mean, with all these new updates, what do you think of people that want to use a third platform? They say, Facebook and Google dominates everything on web. We're looking for something different, some budget to spend outside Facebook, Google. Do you think that's really necessary? Don't you think Facebook and Google is enough already if you want to cover, like if you want to get enough reach there?
I would say no. I think that there's enough niches of businesses, products, and customers that there are going to be other platforms where people congregate. So, for example, if you are selling lipstick to 13, 14, 15-year-old girls, you need to be on Snapchat.
Okay. So there are different platforms.
Yeah. Because there are different platforms to go after, right? Yeah. Twitter's another one. There's definitely a market and an audience on Twitter that you can't get other places, you can't target. I think it makes sense to go there as well.
Okay, understand.
This topic will be continued in the next episode. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to Digital to Foot Traffic. Join our mailing list at digitaltofoottraffic.com for more of our digital insights and strategies.
Leave us a review on iTunes or your favorite Android apps and subscribe so we'll show you the second we launch a new episode.